I'm Tadeusz Malinski. I am a distinguished professor at Ohio University, Athens, Ohio. And I just presented a talk at the International Academy of Cardiology Annual Scientific Session 2015, 20th World Congress on Heart Disease held here in Vancouver. The title of my talk was related to the early diagnosis of the cardiovascular system based on the analysis, nanomedical analysis of the single endothelial cells. The idea is to determine this endothelial dysfunction, which is a crucial cell in the entire cardiovascular system, and based on the dysfunction, which usually is a dysfunction in the production of nitric oxide, which is a vital molecule for the cardiovascular system, and dysfunction of the production of this molecule is one marker which we are using to look how endothelial cells dysfunction can be related to the dysfunction of the entire cardiovascular system during many years. It means that it is diagnosis as well as a prognosis, how this cardiovascular system, how many years will survive. We are hoping that it can be done as early as in human umbilical cells from very early of life, that we can really prognose how this particular system will perform, and this will give us, this kind of prognosis and diagnosis will give us the opportunity to design the system to correct this, to correct the dysfunction of this endothelial cells and production of NO, which is, as we see now, it's very much related to the gene variants of these particular enzymes which produce NO, which is called nitric oxide synthase, because the production of nitric oxide very often by endothelium is very often affected by so-called uncoupling of the nitric oxide synthase, which in addition to nitric oxide start to produce a very devastating molecule which is called superoxide. Superoxide react very fast in a time less than microsecond with nitric oxide, make a deficiency of nitric oxide in the vascular system, which affect signaling by this molecule, as well as adhesion defense against the adhesion of the component of blood and any other components which can be present in the blood. In this reaction between the nitric oxide and the superoxide, the end of this reaction is a product which is called peroxynitrite, which is one of the strongest oxidants of the oxidative stress, and we call it nitrooxidative stress, which damage or inhibit many enzymes and can damage DNA, can also cause many oxidative damage to the component of the biological milieu, and therefore what we have is a continuous struggle between the good molecule, which is cytoprotective and is nitric oxide, and the bad molecule, which is cytotoxic, and finally always the cytotoxic molecule win, but during our life we may have influence on the proportion between these two molecules, make this good molecule be produced on the level which is needed for the function of the cardiovascular system for many years. In that the final output of our study will be a design of the model which will include very, very small sensors, which we call nanosensors. They are about 1,000 times in diameter, smaller than the single hair. And we can use those sensors to, at the same time, to monitor real concentration in real time of 1/1,000,000th of the second, how many of each of these molecules we have. And we can, based on the ratio of the concentration or number of molecules produced, we can provide pretty accurate, even at that time, prognosis how long this cardiovascular system will be really functional. And if we find it relatively early, predict that, you know, like people are in 30s or 40s, we can probably do the screening and find out that the system is already aging too much, and we can design the special intervention which will we can partially restore this endothelial system which regulate the flow of the blood, and at least this partial restoration will slow down the process of the aging of the cardiovascular system. The clue is to do it, this intervention, as early as possible, because if disease really is develop or occur, you know, we have limited possibilities to really restore the system to the original one. And what we try to do in one sentence is to do the early prognosis and early diagnosis, and based on to develop therapy or correction, I would say, to have this cardiovascular system functional for many years. And this is a goal which has a very high probability to be successful.